Mr. Hudson, you claim the defendant led you to believe you were her son, Ja'Cory's biological father, then dropped a bomb and admitted she slept with someone else.
Yes, Your Honor.
You're in court to prove you are not her son's father.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Bridges, you admit to sleeping with another man, but claim that you have no doubt Mr. Hudson is your child's biological father.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And Mr. Hudson, why is it at first you believe that you were Ja'Cory's biological father?
Well, Your Honor, I was led to believe that I was Ja'Cory's father because at the time that we were living together is the time that she became pregnant with the child. We were together for approximately about 5 years, Your Honor.
Okay. So you were there throughout the pregnancy,
yes,
and you were taking care of her. You all lived together.
Yes, ma'am.
You had a relationship.
Yes, Your
So
Honor.
you thought this baby was yours.
Yes, Your Honor.
Were you at the birth?
Yes, Your Honor. I was at the hospital. I took her to doctor's appointments. I was there. I cut the umbilical cord, Your Honor. I even signed the birth certificate on the day of the birth.
You did?
Yes, ma'am.
So you signed the birth certificate because on that day, you truly believe this child was yours?
Yes, Your Honor.
So you say she dropped a bomb on you.
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me about that. When did that happen?
It happened a little before his first birthday party. I invited her. I invited everyone to come. She didn't even show to his first birthday party that I planned for.
Because I was not going to show because you had your ex-girlfriend there and I did not feel comfortable there being with her. So I had my own birthday party for him.
You threw a birthday party.
Yes, Your Honor.
You say Ms. Bridges didn't even come.
Yes, Your Honor.
Did the baby come? Did he get to come?
Yes, Your Honor. I had him there myself.
Okay, so you brought him there yourself. Oh, handsome. And so, Mr. Hudson, you say this bomb she dropped. When did she drop this bomb?
We had an argument, and that's when she came and she was telling me how I might not be the father and she had done these things. But I paid no attention to them because I am the father. I'm supposed to be the father. I'm here.
He was cheating on me back then, so that's the reason why I did what I did. So yes, I said he might not be the father, but I know he's the father of Ja'Cory Hudson.
That's
the reason why he signed that birth certificate.
You said that's why I did what I did. What did you do?
Cheated on him.
You did?
Yes.
Okay. Was it during the window of conception?
No, it was the time when I went away and I came back and I was on the social network, and I seen so much stuff going on between him and this other little female, so I went on by myself and went and just did what I had to do.
You cheated with Mr. Davis, am I correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
So he's also in the courtroom. We will hear from him shortly.
Yes.
So since the bomb was dropped and you found out she had slept with someone else, what is happening with the relationship? Are you in Ja'Cory's life?
No, Your
Not
Honor.
at this moment.
You're not.
I was.
And what changed that?
I have no way of getting in contact with him. I can't talk to him. I can't see him.
He knows my auntie number. I gave it to him plenty of times. You just making things up, just not to be in the baby's life.
So is it your inability to get in contact with the child really what's holding you back? Or is it the fact that you don't truly know?
It's the fact that we don't know, Your Honor. But I still love him and I still take care of him. Even after the time that I was told that he wasn't mine, is when I still threw his birthday party. I still bought him Christmas gifts, still bought him birthday gifts.
And that's what a father's supposed to do.
Even the months that he was born are not even adding up. She said that she got pregnant in the month of March. He was born in the month of October.
I had him 7 months. I had him 36 weeks. That was early. That's the reason why. He was supposed to be born on Thanksgiving, but I had him October the 28th.
If he was supposed to be born, you say 7 months. 7 months is not October. 7 months was been November. I signed the birth certificate because I was under the influence that he was mine. I mean, what father wouldn't sign a birth certificate for a female that's living with him?
Even though you cheated, Ms. Bridges, you say, I did it. I did it.
Yes.
You still say Mr. Hudson is this child's biological father.
He's 100% the child's father.
Why do you know that for certain?
Because I just know, just look at my baby, and he been there for us, so it's like, hey,
I've been there, correct. I took care of her when the time when she had no one else to take care of her.
Yes, and I appreciate that
I took the part.
For everything.
I did everything. She didn't have to do nothing but go to school. I paid all the bills. I worked 2 jobs
yes.
at the age of 18.
he feels like you led him to believe he was the father. Because when I asked you, how do you know for certain, you said, well, because he's been there. You understand that him being there has nothing to do with the biology.
Yes.
You do understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Because you admitted you slept with someone else.
Yes, Your Honor.
Your Honor, even in my time of deception, still stood there and took care of him.
Are you talking about the time of deception, meaning when you were deceiving her or she was deceiving you? Because both of you all had time of deception.
When I was deceived by her, Your Honor, and
When
she
you
came
were.
out and gave me the assumptions that she had done what she had done.
Okay. That's true, Miss Bridges?
Yes, Your Honor.
Does that make you emotional to hear that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Why?
Because I just know he's the father of my child. And I just know it. I know it for everything, Your Honor. I just know it.
If you want more episodes of Paternity Court, make sure to subscribe and click on the notification bell.
Watch your step going up there.
Mr. Davis, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
We are here discussing the paternity as it relates to Jacory, and I want to ask you, do you believe you're Jacory's biological father?
Yes, I do, for several reasons. Me and Miss Bridges met, we hung out for a couple of months. We ended up having unprotected sex around about 3 times. I didn't know that she was pregnant at all until I looked on Facebook one day, like a year later, and I see a picture of her son. And immediately, I think her son looks like my nephew. About a year after that, she came to me. She's like, oh, well, can you tell me the times that we had sex? And I'm like, okay. So I gave her a ballpark or whatever. And I'm like, why'd you ask me that? She's like, no reason. So, like a month later. Right.
No reason.
And I'm like, why'd you really ask me that? Does it have something to do with your son? And she's like, yeah, well, I think you might be his father, or it's a possibility. Then by the next message, she's flipped her whole standpoint on it. She's like, well, maybe he's not yours. I'm pretty sure that that's Mr. Hudson's son. And, if he's not, will you take a DNA test for me? I'm like, yeah, because I was engaged at the time, and the woman I was engaged to couldn't have kids. So for me to get that kind of news, it was kind of exciting for me.
And so, Ms. Bridges, you did tell him he potentially could be Jacory's father, is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
But you testified earlier that you said you know for sure.
I know for sure it's Mr. Hudson's child. So.
But I mean,
But
if
you
you know that
told-
for sure, then what was the point of coming to me and saying anything at all?
Because, I was just adding up the dates to see how. I was just adding up the dates. He said it was wrong.
Okay, but then you came right back to me.
I came to you.
You came right back to me, and when I asked you why you asked the second time, you're like, okay, well, it's because I think you might be his father.
Yes, you might be.
I have proof of that right here.
I slept with both of y'all at the same time.
What is this, sir?
Those are Facebook messages between her and I. The blue is me, the white is her. She wanted me to take the DNA test. She came to me. I didn't come to her
Will you
like,
do
oh,
a
well, I
DNA
think your
for me?
son
And
is
you
mine.
said, yes, I will.
Yes.
And you said, thank you, because I don't want my son to grow up without a dad.
Yes, Your Honor, I did say that.
And you have 2 men in court today, and you
Yes.
don't know for certain which one is your child's biological father, because you just admitted that you slept with them at the same time.
Yes, but I know for sure he's the father.
Incorrect.
It's been 3 years. Who's been helping you? How are you raising this child?
My auntie, Miss Dollaragis, was.
Miss Dollaragis, will you please stand, ma'am?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you for joining us. So you had to pretty much step up and help her with this child
This is correct, Your
because
Honor.
there was no father in the
no
picture.
father in the picture at all.
She was honest with you and told you that it could be 2 different men?
That is correct. That is correct, Your Honor. I've been helping Oteria raise Jacory he's going on 4 years old. I have been in his life ever since. There's been games going back and forth of who's the father, who is not the father. Mr. Davis has stepped up. He's constantly calling me, wanting to be the father, wanting to be in Jacory's life. Jacory has been ill, suffering with asthma. Mr. Davis did show up to the hospital. Yes, he showed up at the hospital with his concerns. My niece needs a reality check, Your Honor. She needs help. This is not a joke. I need for my niece to get assistance, not only with her education, but with her life and her children, period, Your Honor.
So, Ms. Delaragas, who do you believe is the father? Do you have a belief one way or the other?
Honestly, Your Honor, I would go for it more towards Mr. Davis. The comparison look, very similar, even though I know that's not much, but they do have similarities.
You feel like they favor physically?
They do. They really do.
Has Mr. Hudson stepped up and tried to take care of Jacory as well?
Not lately, but as he said in his testimony, Your Honor, he did celebrate his first birthday. He did come and get him. He's been to my house. He has been there as well.
Ms. Bridges, has Jacory bonded with either of these men, or you don't want him to do that because you don't know which one is the father?
He bonded with Mr. Hudson more than Mr. Davis. I didn't really want Mr. Davis bond with him like that until we get, results stating that he is the father of Jacory Hudson.
So he's basically been living in limbo without a father in his life
Yes, Your Honor.
because of this paternity issue.
Yes.
Mr. Hudson, it's clear Mr. Davis wants to be the father. Are you feeling like, I'm hoping this child is mine?
I want to be his father only because I've had a bond with him and I still love him.
So, Mr. Davis, have you met Jacory? Have you spent time with him?
It's been minimal, but I've spent time with him. The first time I met him, it was like, damn, I'm holding my kid. That was in 2013 that I actually got to meet him. And like I said, immediately when I saw a picture of him when he was first born, I thought he looked like my nephew. And when I took a picture with him and I look at it, I can see the resemblance. And, the past couple of years, it's been kind of hard because we haven't been able to see each other because, they don't want him to build a relationship with someone who may not be his father again. And I understand that, but it does hurt. This all could have been solved if I would have known from the beginning that you were even pregnant.
Because you feel like if you just would have told me from the start.
Then we could have figured everything out. We could have gotten DNA tests 4 years ago.
And this upsets you, I can see.
Yes, very much so. I've missed 3 years of a child's life that could possibly be mine.
And I apologize for that, but
Apologies can't take back 3 years of missed
I
time.
made mistakes and I learned from my mistakes. I was young back then.
So 2 men, both of whom want to be this child's father, and yet neither of them participating in his life.
No, Your Honor.
My
It's a
purpose for
shame.
not participating is simply that I'm not allowed to. There would be no flack in between if I was allowed to. You have an opportunity. You don't know if he's yours or not, but you've been there already. Why just walk away from him?
It's not that I walked away. It's that I was pushed away.
Well,
I
what's
did not see
obvious
him.
is this child is in this paternity limbo. Going from place to place and home to home. He doesn't know who his father is because his mother doesn't know who his father is. Mr. Davis, if this child is yours, you're going to step up for this baby?
Yes, ma'am, most certainly.
Mr. Hudson, are you going to step up if this child ends up being yours?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, let's go to the results. These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. In the case of Hudson versus Bridges, when it comes to 3-year-old Jacory Hudson, pertaining to whether his biological father is Mr. Hudson or Mr. Davis, it has been determined by this court. Mr. Hudson, you are not his father. In the case of Hudson versus Bridges, when it comes to 3-year-old Jacory Hudson, Mr. Davis, you are not his father.
Neither one of them.
This courtroom is in shock. This is not what anyone expected today. Mr. Hudson, how do you feel right now?
Hurt, betrayed.
Mr. Davis, I know this was not the result you wanted either.
I'm glad to know, but your lifestyle is not fair to your child.
Miss Bridges, as it stands right now, you don't know who your child's father is.
No.
Gentlemen, I have to say, for two young men in their early 20s, you all have both stood up here and have been honorable young men. Mr. Davis, I can see that this situation has made you very emotional.
I really thought he was mine.
Mr. Streety, you say you got spooked when you found out that your ex-girlfriend, Miss Johnson, cheated with a man she worked with at a haunted house. You have dragged the defendant into court today to prove that you are not her 13-month-old son, Zeandre's father, so you can remove your name from the birth certificate. Additionally, you are also suing for $108, the cost to get your name removed. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Johnson, you say you never forced Mr. Streety to sign Zeandre's birth certificate, and you are furious. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
So, Mr. Streety, why did you sign Zeandre's birth certificate if you had doubt?
Your Honor, I was foolish at the time. In the beginning, it was the way I felt about her. When we first met, she was already pregnant. I mean, we were trying to make things happen. We were trying to be a family, you know what I'm saying? She told me her situation. Kids' fathers weren't really there. I'm a good man. I felt like that was a role I was gonna have to take on if I wanted to be with her. And
so wait, let me be clear. So you took on the role of father for a child you knew wasn't yours. When you met her, she was pregnant.
Yeah, plus their older siblings too.
And the older siblings.
It's not like you didn't know.
But you signed the birth certificate of the first child.
This last one. And his brother, the two youngest.
But you knew that. That's what you agreed to do.
Yeah, but I did that to show you that.
Wait, I want to be
there.
clear. You signed the birth certificate for a child you knew wasn't yours.
Yes, Your Honor. I know how foolish that
And
was.
now Zeandre, you question
Foolish.
if he's yours, and you signed his birth certificate too.
Yes, ma'am.
So how many children do you have between the two of you?
One.
You just have one.
Allegedly.
The other one you're on the birth certificate, but you're not the biological father, but you have two other children besides that.
I have 3 other children besides that.
Now tell me about this relationship before you got pregnant with Zeandre.
We met back up after years of not seeing each other, and then he left and went to Denver. And when he came back that December, he proposed to me. And I would say he was still involved with someone else because he was receiving phone calls, and he was like very suspicious about it, and I didn't pay attention to him.
Your Honor, I moved to Denver. She knew that I was moving out there, so that way me and her
That
try to move
was
out
the
there.
game plan after he
Oh,
got
okay,
out
so
there.
you told her, I'm gonna go to Denver first
Yeah.
and get
No,
things
you
set up,
didn't.
and then you gonna come as well.
Yeah.
No, you didn't.
But you did move to Denver.
Yeah.
He moved to Denver
And this
without
was
my
before
knowledge.
Zeandre was born.
Yeah.
Yes, it was. I was pregnant with Zayden at the time.
So now the first thing we really need to understand is, why do you doubt? Zeandre's yours.
No, I approached Your Honor.
Insecurity.
I will tell you.
This is what the exhibit is about?
Yes, ma'am.
Please approach.
Thank you. We have a timeline here. Moved in together in or around April. This is her parents' house. This is one of their properties, okay? All of her bills, automatically my responsibilities.
No, they
All right?
weren't.
Hold
He
your
got
thoughts.
his name.
Hold your thoughts. Thank you. Here we go. We're moving through here. Amidst of all of that going on, I'm getting tired of being accused of things that I'm not doing. So I move out. Not even a few weeks later, see her at the gas station around the street from my brother's house. Who was that you were riding with? Hold that thought. Couple weeks later, I'm at my uncle's house.
Wait a minute, saw with other man. That's
Yeah.
the red car? And what did you see when you saw that?
I saw them at the gas station at a pump. She's just chilling in the truck. As a matter of fact, this person that she's with, if this was such a good man, he's sitting in the truck, she's pumping the gas. A couple weeks later, I'm playing soccer with my 2 younger cousins in my uncle's front yard. Guess who come bending around the corner? Her and the same nut that I saw earlier at the gas station. This time he's driving. Whoa, okay, if he's driving.
And
it's
that's
gotta
the
be
car
something
below, driving with other man. That's the same other man.
Same person.
Same
yeah.
guy.
This is around the time where I discovered that she's pregnant. Okay, you got to understand, I'm gonna feel some type of way.
Now, Mr. Streety, hold your thought. Ms. Johnson, Do you remember those instances?
I do.
Do you remember the man you were driving with?
Yes, Your
You
Honor.
were with another man.
I was, but all that took place in October. I didn't meet the guy until October.
No. She tells me that, Your Honor, and as far as she's concerned, she's gonna tell me that.
And
all
so,
right?
Mr.
As far as I'm concerned,
Streety, I just want to make sure. Now, how do you know it's August? You just remember that was the date?
No, that's when I saw him. As far as I'm concerned, after this time passed by, she told me that she was with somebody else. She had met her at a haunted house that she and he had worked at together. Okay? As far as I'm concerned, this is the same person that I saw earlier. You can't prove to me that it's not.
All right. And then in October, that's when it is revealed to you that she cheated.
Yeah, that she had been cheated in October. Okay? So if you had been doing that in October, and you not just telling me you only slept together 2 or 3 times.
You got found out she cheated with a haunted house. She was in the haunted house cheating?
No, she was in the house that we were living in with them kids. That's where she was at.
Oh.
The same bed that I was lying in.
Oh, she was working with the guy at the haunted house.
Not even there.
Oh, so that makes it okay.
No, it doesn't make it okay.
Man,
You remove
whatever,
your name
man.
from the water bill doesn't make it okay either.
Yeah, dude, for my credit.
Really?
Oh, so I gotta leave my name in the water
No,
so y'all can
why
take
did you
showers
agree?
together.
Why did you agree to get the water turned on in your name?
Okay, that's cool.
What sense did that make if you didn't plan on paying
Wait a minute,
any
Mr.
bills?
Streety, you took your name off the water bill because you didn't want her taking a
Yes, I
shower with
did.
this new man?
Oh, yeah.
No. He decided that he was going to take his name off the water bill and go freelance to do whatever it is he wanted to do.
Meanwhile, I help her.
Wait. What's freelance mean?
Can I go back?
Are you done with your
Yes,
exhibit,
ma'am.
sir? Yes, please step back to the podium.
He made beats or he would help record songs with other people without a fee.
Oh, I thought you meant he was freelancing with other women.
I mean, his ex, of course. Like, he would leave my house just to see his ex and their child. And they would spend time together. They
Your
had
Honor.
pictures all on
Your Honor.
Facebook, him lying in the bed when the baby was born. It's like, wow, you didn't tell me any of this. I didn't know none of this. You didn't owe me an explanation for anything.
Listen, and as bad as that is, that didn't land us here in paternity court.
No, it didn't.
From what the
security
exhibit
did.
says, the haunted house did. Ms. Johnson, I want to hear what your side of the story is.
Okay. First of all, the calendar's not even right. We moved in together in March, and he moved out in June. He stopped by just to check on me or whatever, but it wasn't that much. So I'll say in July, that's when I got pregnant. And this right here, all this happened in October.
So you saying he got the dates all mixed up?
He does.
And you're saying that when he saw you with the other man driving around, you were already pregnant?
Yes, I was. I was already pregnant.
Were you sleeping with the other man?
I met this guy in October at the haunted house. I would say 2 weeks after being there, of getting the haunted house set up and getting ready to bring customers in, because it was like from the 15th to the 31st. So I'll say,
You met him in October, but y'all were already hanging out 2 months before.
no, we weren't. See,
So that's somebody different.
That's
So
where
that's
you're
somebody different.
delusional.
So that was somebody different, yes or no?
That's where you're delusional.
Yes or no?
I wasn't even with anybody. I was at home with my kids, making sure they ate, making sure they bathed, and they were clothed.
Who you driving my uncle's house with? Who was
That
in
was
the
the
car?
guy in October. That's the same guy.
Lies.
No, they're not.
So, Ms. Johnson, so you say you were already pregnant, but you say you saw her with the other man before you realized she's pregnant. Take me to the point when she tells you she's pregnant.
I went over there to just go check on her. We just laying there, and she's like, yo, as a matter of fact, I asked her, have you been with somebody else? She's always been honest. She said yes. I said, well, have y'all been sleeping together? Yeah. Oh, so it just only happened one time? No, it's been 2 or 3 times. I'm like, where'd y'all sleep
In
together?
October.
Where'd y'all sleep together at? Right here is where?
Nowhere
the
to be
same
found.
bed that me and
That
her
was
been laying in.
after October.
Are you kidding me?
And when I told him I cheated, that's when he decided he wanted to come back around and play dad or play house or whatever. Because he was always in and out the house.
Who do your children look at as dad?
Of course you.
So
And you
how am I
know
playing
that.
dad?
Listen, I see the tears in your eyes, and I see you very upset.
I am.
What is this about for you?
It's the fact that he's been in my daughter's life since she was 1. And she's 5 now. And knowing that he knows that they don't know their fathers. Their fathers don't come around or call or check on them. And then for him to step up to that position and then all of a sudden slowly weed his way out, that just drives me
Don't
to
sit up.
just
Well,
feel
don't
as
sit up.
though
Don't sit
I
up.
wanted
Let her
him
talk.
to
Let her talk.
come. I wasted my time, my energy, anything that we put forth to build our family and make our lives better within ourselves and for our children.
Now, Mr. Streety, what were you trying to add?
All right, look, straight up, I was in the military, all right? I take responsibility serious. I would think she would think the same thing considering her father and her sisters were
Not
too.
the way you act.
Chill.
Not the way you
Chill.
display yourself.
It don't matter about how I display myself. You don't
It
sit up,
does
you don't
too.
sit up there and tell me.
How you gonna say
You
it
don't
doesn't
sit up
matter?
there and tell me that I'm wrong because I want to separate myself from a situation that I put myself in where you made me feel uncomfortable about it.
At what point do you get so uncomfortable that you backpedal out of there and that you decide that this baby, Zeandre, is not yours?
Because when you sit there and you put your responsibilities on me, after I take them on, yeah, but you don't never put your responsibilities on another person and make them feel bad when they're not doing as much as you should be doing in the first place.
Why do you then doubt the child? It's not about responsibility. It has to be based in you feel like she was sleeping with this guy. That's what you feel like?
Your Honor, the reason why she said she did it was because I wasn't there for her.
Right, but you
Okay,
feel like she slept with this guy before Zeandre was conceived.
If you felt like that at that one point, all the times that I feel like that you might have felt like that before, you might have been doing that before too. You don't say stuff like that to a person, and when they get insecure about what you said, you get mad at them because they insecure.
Okay, so let me ask you something. Why did you sign Zeandre's birth certificate?
Your Honor, I was already there for the other three. I ain't taking nothing from Ms. Johnson, but I already know what she dealing with. I know that their fathers was not there for them. I already know that. I'm sitting there in the hospital holding him.
So wait a minute. This is what I want to understand. How do we go from this picture of you in the hospital to Zeandre is now 13 months old, and you're saying you don't believe he's your biological child?
The reason why I have my doubts is y'all see a picture of him. Look at me and her. We both dark. That baby yellow. The person that I seen her with was yellow, all right? So
Listen,
that makes me have my doubts.
You do understand that children come in all shapes and
Totally,
sizes.
totally.
You know that it is about your genes. You can make a child. It could be a throwback from another generation. You can have a child that is a different shade of brown than you, and it doesn't mean it's yours.
Okay, I understand that Zeandre looks more like Shantae than he does me. I understand that boy looks just like her. I have my doubts by the way he looked for my own reasons.
All right, so listen.
But did that stop me from signing his birth certificate and being there for him and spending time with him? No, it didn't. I still did that.
And you signed that birth certificate willingly?
Yeah.
Ms. Johnson, you admit you slept with this other person.
I did.
Did you tell this other person you were pregnant to?
I told him, yes, Your Honor.
Now, has he met Zeandre?
He has not, Your Honor. After October was over, that was it. We slept, during our work relationship, those 2 or 3 times, and that was it.
So after that, he went ghost, back to the haunted house.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. We're gonna get to the paternity results in just a moment, but I wanna rule on Mr. Streety's suit. Mr. Streety, you're suing for $108, which would be the cost to take your name off the birth certificate should Zeandre be determined to not be your biological child. The issue is this. I asked you point blank in court, did you do this voluntarily, willingly? And you answered to the court, yes. Without any evidence that Ms. Johnson tried to defraud you, did anything to coerce you, put forth any circumstances that would mislead you to sign this birth certificate, I cannot award you $108 because you did this on your own volition. So because of that reason, I have to deny your suit, all right? But I want you to understand this. Even though today we may determine you are not the biological father, you understand that you still are the legal father. Yeah. And so you would still be required to support him financially via child support, and you still have a legal right to see him, as well as the other child.
And he knows that.
Now, you do have a right to petition the court in your home state to have your name removed. With that said, it's time for the results. Jerome?
Your Honor.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. In the case of Streety versus Johnson, when it comes to 13-month-old Zeandre Streety, It has been determined by this court. Mr. Streety, you are the father. I told you. How do you feel now, Mr. Streety, now that you know for certain?
That just shows right there that she did have somewhat of some kind of respect for me. You know what I'm saying? She never been unsure. I always been unsure.
I believe you doubt it. You know, some men come in here, I feel like they ain't got doubt, they just don't want the responsibility. Yep. And I'm gonna tell you something. This is a consequence of a relationship where there's no trust. And what I wanna say to you all is, if you're going to do better for the children, you all have to find a way to establish a foundation of trust. She knew you were insecure, but one thing you testified to, Mr. Streety, was you said, she don't lie. You asked her questions, did she sleep with someone? Yes. Where'd you do it? Here. I mean, she'd tell you the truth. So you've got to take that as a foundation that now you all need to communicate. You've got a beautiful baby boy, figure out where you want to be and how you want to proceed together. And she made a good point. You've taken on this family. You stepped up to the plate. Now, you can't step up to the plate, get the bat, tell the pitcher to throw, and then decide, oh, you know, baseball ain't my game. You can't do that because there's children here that are counting on you and they look to you to be their father, all right?